I'm here today in front of my OM-Tech laser, which has the Rotoboss rotary inside. You might not be able to see it just yet, but I want to talk to you today about how I set the Rotoboss up and some tips and tricks that I've learned. So I got the Rotoboss probably about a couple months ago, and I've had the opportunity to use it, get used to it, and find out some of the little nuances that help me with setting it up. I have as I mentioned, I have OM-Tech. It's a red and black 20 by 28 bed with the autofocus, so that means I have the motorized bed here. One thing I noticed the very first time I tried to set this Rotoboss up was I couldn't get the Z height. So what I found was there's an internal limit in the OM-Tech laser that only allows the bed to travel so far. So I had my material, I think it was a 1/4 inch originally set up, focused and everything of that sort, and when I dropped the U or Z axis down, it hit that limit and it wasn't able to completely clear. I wasn't able to get the Rotoboss in with a cup in it to clear the nozzle. So I found that if I push the reset button on the controller over here, it let it reset, and then I was able to drop it even further and pretty much get it all the way to the bottom of the machine. So that gave me more than enough space to fit the Rotoboss and any cups that I've dealt with so far to fit underneath the nozzle. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take you off the stand or move you around here a little bit. I'll show you some different views, and I'll go through how I set up my Rotoboss within my laser, and hopefully that helps you to set up yours as well. Okay, so I'm looking down into my laser, and the first thing you'll see, and it's difficult to see with the view that I have on the screen here, but I have this piece of square tubing. It's probably about 1 inch by 1 inch. I found that this is a nice guide for me, and what I do is I just butt it up against the lead screws that raise the bed up and down, and I know that that's square basically to what I need. Now I have it set up where I've adjusted these legs over here, and then there's the one over here as well, and I did that by just simply, actually adjusted this one here. I simply loosened these screws here and then the screws here, and I was able to adjust it, but I'll show you kind of how I did that to get it set up the first time. And once I got that adjusted, now all I simply do is I grab a hold of it and I butt it up against there nice and tight, and it's worked for me flawlessly since. So the way I did that was I grabbed a piece of PVC. I think this is about a 3-inch diameter pipe. I don't think you need anything that big, but that's what I had laying around. So I got one that's, you know, about 6, 8 inches long, and I drew a line on it. You'll see there's actually some lines on there, and so you know if you have a piece that has that, then you may get lucky. But I took a square, combination square, just like this, and pretty much held it on the end, and then went ahead and drew my line. So you can see there that I've got it, and that's how I drew the line there. I did find the line doesn't really want to stay too well, but you know, it is what it is. So if I have to do another one, I have to do another one. But I do use this, so I save this, and I use it every time just to double check everything. So far, I haven't had any issues, but the up-down makes a difference for sure. So I know this is consistent. This is the one I always use, and it's not failed me yet. So how do I do that, right? Well, the first thing I do is I, lift the knob or the hole down here, and I'll put the piece of PVC in. I'll make some adjustments, make sure it's on the wheels, and then I'll get it rolled over. I'll bring the laser over top of it, and see, right now I'm a little too high, so if I lower it down, then I'm able to move the laser, and I get it to about eyeballing it to what I consider TDC, top dead center, and the laser itself, let me see if I could drop you in there, is pointing right to that spot. So you can kind of see that red dot. It's a little bit hard, I think. But the red dot laser is on that line. So I then have a little tool that I've made here, which you might have seen in some of my other videos, which is my focus tool. And basically, I'll come in here, I'll get it really close, so to speak. Let me turn you around a little bit, so I can get in there. Okay, I think that's a little bit better. So now you can really see that red dot right on the line that I drew. And again, I have my focus tool. I use mine at 0.690. And so you can see, okay, well, it doesn't fit, right? Well, I'll just go ahead and drop the U down. Now I'm off of that line. And here we go. Okay, so now I fit, no problem. I'm going to go ahead and get it close. Just bumping it up. Step by step. One at a time. If you have a manual focus, you'll manually adjust this. I have an autofocus, so I'm using the motorized bed. So, okay, now I know that, or I see that my dot is not over top of my green line. And so I'm going to just go ahead and rotate the piece, because I think that's pretty close. Maybe bump it back just a little bit, and just give the laser a little bit of, well, I guess I still got it plugged in here. There we go. Okay, so what I eyeball to be the top center is fine. And I get it nice and centered on the red dot, centered on that line. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my focus tool. The beauty of the Rotoboss, and I don't know if any other rotary that has this, is not only can I adjust the slave wheels up and down, I can adjust the drive wheels up and down too. And that's what makes it really nice for setup. So what I do is, again, I'll use this focus tool, and see I dropped it down. You can tell because now I'm no longer on the line. And I'll move it over to one end. Oops, a little too far. And then I'm going to go ahead and lift it up, and I'm rotating it until it just touches. So nice snug fit, maybe a hair too touch. There we go. So nice snug fit. I'm going to go to the other end, and you can see I'm not on the line. Well, you can also see that I'm at 0.75 instead of the 6.9. So if I lift that one up, it gets me on the line. And there we go. So now I've got both ends. I come back to the other end, double check it, and it's a nice fit. So I can see that I'm a little bit off the line, so I'm going to go ahead and adjust it. I rotate the piece just a little bit. I come back to the other end, I'm right on the line. So it's perfect. So what that tells me is that I've got a good setup. And so then I go ahead and move my laser out of the way. I take this piece out, and now it's time to put in a tumbler. Or whatever it is that you're going to engrave. So the point is, what I've done here now is I've made sure that I'm square to the machine, to the nozzle. So my rollers, the center line between the two rollers and the center line between these two rollers is parallel with the gantry. And that's the key. So I did mess with the focus and adjust it up and down, but you have to do that because if you're low, for example, I'm going to put this piece back in. If you're low on one end and we come back through, that red dot is hitting, maybe hitting the line here, but look, by the time you get off over here, you're not. So I had to bring it up within focus to get it on that line. And I know I'm the same distance right there as I am over here by using this little gauge tool. And so now I know that I'm square. That's the biggest thing. Step one. Okay, so I've got this Ozark Trail tumbler that I'm going to go ahead and use. Let me pull you up here a little bit. And you can see that it's one that tapers down from a larger diameter to a smaller diameter. I'm sure probably most rotaries can handle this. It's not anything too terribly complicated. But what I can do here is just to show you how I set this one up. So, get you back down there. So again, now I know that I'm square. I take my lid off. It's gone. Lift the hole down and get it set in there. But you notice I'm bumping up over on the backstop, so I'm just going to go ahead and drop that down. I make sure I'm hitting nice and tight. And then what I use is, ironically, something not made for lasers whatsoever, but I use a post level. So if you're familiar with installing fences or anything in that nature, you may have one of these. They're really only a few bucks. It's not terribly expensive, but what I do is I'll go ahead and drop the drive wheels down, because this is a little bit of a bigger diameter, even though it's not such an issue. Again, because I had that 3-inch diameter pipe, or PVC pipe in there. But what I could do is I'm coming up and I'm going down, or I'm already all the way down on the drive side. So I'm going to go ahead and come up on the slave wheels, and I get that level. So that gets me pretty close. It just makes it a little bit quicker. It's not something I'm going to use for a final, but you'll notice too, my gap over here on my backstop is quite a bit bigger than what it was initially when I first set it in there. Okay, sorry, I had to adjust you a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten that back up. And what I like to do is just bump it up on there. You can see, maybe you can see in the video that it moves just a hair, and then I back it off a little bit. So it's not really touching. There's freedom for it to move in and out, you can see. But I push it up tight on this side over here. And then again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my laser nozzle very carefully over, because I don't want to bump it. And you'll see that I can't even get this underneath there at all, right? So I'm going to go ahead and lower my laser down, and I'm going to get it close. And actually, that was really good, really close. So again, I know I should be directly above the center line of the two wheels, because of when I set it up with my PVC pipe. So I should be right on the center of this hold down, which is the center of these two wheels and the center of these two wheels. So I'm comfortable knowing that once I have my height, my focal height or focal distance correct, that I'm at the center of the cup. So I get it nice and close. So I'm going to give it a little bump, one bump, and it gets it pretty close. And then what I'll do is I'm going to come over here on this one, and I'm just going to keep it on the the larger diameter, but now I can't fit underneath there at that distance. So what I could do is I could drop my slave side down and then adjust it back up a little bit, and I try to keep it square, my gauge square, because what you don't want is you get offset or something of that nature, and it doesn't doesn't give you a proper reading. So I try to keep it right square under the laser, and versus going at an angle or anything like that. And so I try to keep it that way, parallel to the gantry, close at least. So it's a little bit tight. It's holding on its own. I'm going to back it off just a hair. There we go. So it's nice, snug fit, but not too tight. And then I'm going to come back over to the other side, and I'm going to do the same thing. So now I can adjust the drive wheel to do the same. And this is where it's really nice. So instead of having to worry about bumping, oops, I had that tilted just a little bit. So again, make sure you hold down that back side. There we go. So instead of having to adjust the feet or to lift that up, or using your autofocus or your manual focus, whatever it is, to bring the entire bed up, I'm able to bring just that side up and then just this side up. So again, I have a nice fit there, and then I come back over here to the other side, and again, a nice fit. And so again, I always like to adjust both sides. I do one side, go do the other side, do one side, go do the other side, and then come back and do the third side, which is the original side. So now I'm actually really comfortable that I've got a good setup here. I'm focused on both ends of it. I know I'm level. I don't necessarily have to put a level on it. I do have one. And if you can see that, it's pretty level. So while I have the level to use and double check, I guess I'll do this one too. I got this other little level in here. This may be a better view. There you go. So while I do have that level in there to check, being able to use my focus tool works out better for me. That way I know I'm focused on both ends, which means I'm focused all the way across. It's particularly important with different odd shapes. So I have like some other items that I've done before where this has really come into play. This is an easier cup, but some of the more difficult ones, it makes it a lot nicer. Okay, so I've got a couple other items here that I'll just show you real quick. Again, nothing too terribly crazy or difficult, but we'll just show real quick. These are some ones that I've already engraved more as testing than anything. You can see this is a glass, a typical 16-ounce bar glass. A little bit longer or shorter, I guess, than that tumbler I had. So I'm wheeling it in. Again, get it up there, just bump it, boop, and then back off a little bit. What's nice about it is if you bump it, it actually is some flex in here. So it doesn't break it, it doesn't jam it, as long as you're careful with it. You know, you don't want to crank too hard. But again, I'll back it off just a little bit. And then so I'll bring my laser over it, and again, now I'm with a different diameter. So, and your typical bar glass is tapered, so now you have to make some more adjustments. On this one, I'm going to go ahead and drop the I'm going to lift the drive wheels a little bit, so it gives me a little bit of adjustment up and down. And then I'm going to go ahead and raise my bed and get it close again by raising my bed. Make sure that that tool is touching all the way across. So okay, now we're nice and tight. So what I could do is I could back that off just a little bit with my, my slave wheel adjustment. Come over to the, drive wheel adjustment. Come over to the other end, and now I can lift this one up and get a nice fit there. I'll come back to the other side, and now I'm a little bit loose because I dropped that side down or lifted that side up, so now this side is a little bit loose. So if I turn that one up too, there we go, nice tight fit. Come back, double check the other side, nice tight fit, maybe a hair tight, and there we go. It's great. So now that's nice and level. Again, if I put the level on it, you can see that it's level. Now, incidentally, my machine is also level, so your machine has to be level to make sure that makes a difference. And your gantry, of course. But you should be leveling based on your gantry, not on the honeycomb. So anyways, it all works out well. Again, we'll just pull that one out. We'll take another glass that I used as a test. It didn't come out so good with this, the black spray. But this is I guess a stemless champagne flute. My wife wanted to make these as a gift for her cousin for a wedding. And so I went through a few of these making trials, and really I had no issue with setting it up, but what I had was the black on there, so I had to find the right settings, and this was one of my trial ones. So what I'll do here is, again, I have this, the slave wheels are way up from that last one, so I'm going to go ahead and just lower them down. Now, Rotoboss has come out with an automatic setup that's motorized, and I don't have that, but you can get a setup that is motorized, so you don't have to turn these wheels manually. And so now you see is much smaller diameter, so I'm going to go ahead and raise that up significantly. What's nice about this is, again, with the glass, you can see the hold down wheel inside, and that holds that down nice and tight. I haven't had any issues with them walking. There are some, like this one actually is one that maybe would want to because of the diameters and the shape of it a little bit. So I try to keep my backs up just a little bit closer. I don't crank it tight. I don't want it tight. I want it to be able to move because I want it to be able to spin, and I don't want that to stop it. So I'm going to go ahead and raise this up a little bit. I'm going to get my nozzle over there. And just to show you what's nice about this, so again, my slave wheels are still high, my drive wheels are still low. So I'm going to lift the slave or the drive up, and I'm going to drop the slave, and I'm going to do it at the same time, and it makes it just a little bit faster. So I'm still way too high, or I'm already way too high. So I'm going to bump it down, and there we go. All right, so maybe a little bit too much. And a glass, what's nice is I don't want to put pressure on it, so I can adjust my wheels just ever so slightly. And this one's tougher because you got to watch that radius. So I'm going to spin it around here, and I know that's the one I want. So I'm going to drop that down. And now it fits in there. Nice fit. Come back to the other side. Now I'm low. You can see I can go up and down. So now because I have that other drive, or the adjustable drive wheels, I can bring that up and not have to redo the entire process. It's a really nice feature. And look at that. Nice fit again. Don't even have to touch it. So one thing I didn't do in this this display here was show you me plugging it in. So I actually still have the rotary is still not even plugged in, so I can't rotate it just yet. But what I want to show you real quick is I'm going to take down my pass through, and I'm going to show you the difference as I go through it from a different angle here real quick. Okay, so you can see my glass is pretty dirty. Lots of fingerprints on there. But again, you can see that the slave wheels are low, the drive wheels are high. But let's see, where's my tool? But again, if I go in here, I've got a nice fit on my focus tool, and if I come over to the other side, I've got a nice fit on my focus tool. And I can quickly and easily go back to say my bar glass, but it's too high, so I got to drop it down, and I'm still too high, so I'm just using the autofocus, the motorized bed, to drop it down. And you can see now that glass is severely tilted, which is not going to do us any good. It was clearly not in focus, or consistently in focus, at least. So, again, now I'll move the nozzle over, and you can see it. I'm good. Good, we can see it. Okay. So I know for sure I got to bring the drive or the slave up, and I'm going to bring the drive down. So I'm going to do them both at the same time. And again, I'll just show you real quick. Okay, so now the drive is all the way down. We'll bring that slave up. Keep going. And again, the Rotoboss does offer the motorized option here. So you can see I'm well away from there. So I'm just going to bump it up one at a time. And you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring I like to bring the drive wheels up just a little bit, because that gives me the option to drop them down if I get too high, just like I am here. So there we go. Look at that. Right on it. I'm going to come over to the other side. And you can see I've got some some play there. Bring my drive wheels up. Or slave wheels up, rather. Sorry, I keep getting those confused. And then look, now I'm a little bit too tight here, so I could adjust my drive wheels down. Nice fit. I'll come back one last time on my slave. Nice fit. There we go. So I'm nice and level. I'm going to go ahead and plug in my rotary while I'm talking here. And there we go. I'm going to show you that it spins. So it spins nice. Now, one thing I didn't do there that I failed to mention was adjusting the backstop. So you see there's quite a bit of gap in there. There we go. So there's quite a bit of a gap there. So if I clean or close that up, what happens is, because I'm on an angle, and this happens periodically, what happens is if I'm on an angle, now my focus tool isn't going to fit under there anymore. But the beauty of it is, I just drop it down. There we go. Come over and check the drive side again, and look, it needs to come up just a little bit. There we go. So it's good to go. And because I forgot that, made that mistake of not adjusting the backstop in, it adjusted the angle, which meant I had to redo it. But I didn't have to screw around with bringing my bed up and or leveling the rotary or anything of that nature. Having the double drive and the slave adjustments makes it really, really nice. And I can rotate it, and it stays in there. So it's not walking, as you can see, anything. So I mean, I can't say enough good about this rotary. Yeah, I know it's a little bit pricey, and maybe not be the best thing for the thing for the beginner because of the cost, but I'll tell you right now, it's well worth it. And that's my humble opinion. I did buy the rotary. I do affiliate work for them now, but I did buy it. They did not just give it to me. So this is an honest review based on my experience with them, based on the material, or not the material, but the rotary itself. I love that it's all metal. It's all aircraft grade aluminum, with the exception of the rubber around the wheels and the knobs. I mean, it's been a great rotary, easy to set up, makes setup so easy on anything and everything that I've been through so far. I honestly haven't found anything that I can't do with it. So, all I could say is, at least take a look. If you're interested, PM me, send me a message. Go to my website, www.OEADesignWorks.com. There's a message me option there. You can find me on Facebook. I have my own Facebook group. It's Facebook OM Tech Laser Sales and Setup, CO2 and Fiber. Request to join. You'll want to run a test too. So, take your material, your cup, your tumbler, whatever it may be, wrap it in foil, and then wrap it in tape. A lot of people will say painter's tape. I use regular masking tape. This is just, El Cheapo 2-inch wide, I think it is, masking tape. I got a 6-pack at Menards for $14, something like that. I don't remember even. But, just enough that it engraves, it shows me the design, shows me what I'm going to get as a result, and go from there. So, okay, so sorry about that, moved you around a little bit, but so you can see that there's plenty of adjustment. And Jason's told me there's a way to grab this here and drag it over, but I don't mess with that, quite frankly. I just rotate the knob. It's not too bad. Again, there is the power option, which will do this for you with the push of a button too. But you can see you can fit quite a sizable piece of material in there. And the beauty of this too, and I haven't done this yet, is you can actually take this backstop all the way off. So if you want to go even further, you can take that off, and you can see with it on, I can fit a piece that's just under 14 inches. So I mean, hey, that's pretty good. But to take that off, it's a matter of pulling out this thumb screw, and there we go. And now that's out of there, so you could put, you know, pretty much anything you want as long as it's going to fit within the machine onto the Rotoboss. So again, you know, another nice feature. You know, it does come with, incidentally, and I don't have them sitting here in front of me, but it does come with two different pieces that are not installed currently. One of them is a mug spacer that, you know, spaces you away from the wheels a little bit, or, you know, puts you towards the edge of the wheels a little bit, so that the handle doesn't interfere or hit the wheels in the handle of a mug. The wheels are large enough over here on the drive side that it won't hit the motor. And then there's also another hold down, which is both, incidentally, both the mug spacer and this other hold down are 3D printed. So that's kind of the only exception to everything being metal. But the other hold down has two wheels, and what that's better for is like something like, say, for example, a beer bottle or a wine bottle, where you can clamp it on the outside on top with the two versus the inside, which is the one. So again, I can't say enough about this. Again, all metal, all aircraft aluminum. You know, I'm going to take you off the stand here. Look, Jason even puts his phone number on there. You got some nice decals, Rotoboss. The directions that tell you up on the wheels. Again, all metal, all solid construction. Magnetic feet come standard. So, you know, I can lift up, but, you know, if I give it a little bit of a tug, it's not too bad. So it's not going to be moving around on you. It's not going to be sliding. You know, rubber wheels, easy to grab, easy to grip, for rotating, and then also, you know, help on the drive wheels and the slave wheels, which help rotate the piece, you know, nice and freely. Something else I see here too that I didn't mention was the QR code down there, right there, which I believe is to the manual for any kind of instructions. But again, if you need to adjust things, you know, again, it's all aluminum extrusion. Well, not all aluminum extrusion, but all aluminum. But the guides are extrusions, nice and smooth. Screws, take them out, in and out. You can adjust things if you need to, which, like I said, the only thing I've ever adjusted was this leg over here, and that was once I got it squared on the machine. I just slid this over so that I could set it down every single time, butt it up against my 1x1 tubing, and I know it's square. So individual results may vary. You'll have to do it yourself. You know, it's not going to come like that. But, you know, again, great tool, great rotary. I have no complaints whatsoever. Now, this is the actual Rotoboss. It's the big one that they sell. There's also two other options currently. One is the Rotoboss Junior, which does not have the adjustable drive wheels up and down. It just has the adjustable slave wheels. And then there's the low roller as well, which I believe is to be discontinued. But currently, I think it's still available. So mine is all black. Anodized aluminum. I know he's made some adjustments. I think actually now the rubber wheels are different color. Maybe they're black too. If you buy from Thunder, there's going to be some blue accents in there. But, you know, it's all just color. So it doesn't affect the operation or the performance whatsoever. So, again, great machine. Great design, great engineering. I'm really pleased with my purchase. I am an affiliate for Rotoboss. If you use coupon code OEADesign, you will get 5% off currently. I'll put the information down in the description below. Again, go to my website, like, share, subscribe. Use my website. I'll have the most current, up-to-date information there. So, you know, the description may show the coupon code different. Discount currently, but again, I ask you to go to my website, double check it there. I'll have it there for sure, and it will always be updated there. If you have any questions, again, feel free to message me, comment below. whatever you'd like to do. So I try to make myself accessible, and I'm happy to help. Again, I am an affiliate for Rotoboss, but I did pay for this. They did not give it to me. Once I got the piece of equipment, I was pleased with it. I liked it. I wanted to have the opportunity to help others, and hopefully find something that would work well for them as well. So this is my take on it. Again, I thank you for everything. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, comment below or message me through my my website or on Facebook. Thanks again. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.